In the last video, we looked at the Führer principle in the early years of the National Socialist dictatorship. This video focuses on the legislation and case law. A democracy, including that of the Weimar Republic, is based on the three pillars of the separation of powers. First, the legislature, which is the process of making laws by parliament. In the Weimar Republic, the Reichstag. Second, the executive branch, which enforces the laws and administers the state. This includes the government, the police, the civil service, and also teachers. Third, the judiciary, which is the administration of justice. The judiciary, that is the courts and judges, is independent and ensures compliance with the law. From March 1930 onwards, the Weimar Republic ceased to function properly. The minority government made extensive use of emergency decrees without parliamentary approval. No sooner had the National Socialists come to power than, on 28th of February 1933, they suspended the fundamental rights enshrined in the Weimar Constitution by means of the Reichstag fire decree. The remaining parties in the still existing Reichstag voted in favor. The annulment of the KPD's seats following the elections on 5th of March 1933 was a clear breach of the Weimar Constitution. From March 1933 onwards, the legislative body, the Reichstag, effectively ceased to exist and was abolished. The government, that is the executive, enacted laws and then implemented them immediately. That leaves judiciary. The judiciary applies laws. Many judges have no problem with this. As early as 21st of March 1933, the National Socialist Reich government introduces so-called special courts in the German Reich. These are primarily responsible for offenses classified as political, that is, any statement that can be interpreted as criticism of the government, the party, or the police. Saying to an auxiliary policeman, "You have no reason to be proud of your uniform," is enough to warrant 2 months imprisonment. Wearing an NSDAP membership badge without authorization is punishable by 4 months imprisonment. Saying that Reich Chancellor Hitler is nothing but a figurehead would land you in prison for 3 months. Incidentally, in special courts there is no second judicial instance, no right of appeal, and no further legal protection. The laws are worded in a sufficiently vague manner to allow for convictions based on subjective judgment. We have already encountered one of these laws. The law for the restoration of the professional civil service. Section 4 of this law states: civil servants who, on the basis of their previous political activities, do not offer a guarantee that they will at all times unreservedly uphold the national state, may be dismissed from service. There is no doubt that this is a flexible concept. Jews, communists, and trade unionists are immediately dismissed or arrested following the NSDAP's election victory. Reports of the arrests appear in the newspapers. An article in the newspaper Stadt- und Dorfanzeiger dated 17th of May 1933 clearly illustrates the extent to which the law has changed. The article describes a rally in Berlin. In his lecture, President Kube states, "A judge should be fair, but objectivity reaches its limits when matters of the nation are at stake. A judge must ruthlessly prioritize the vital interests of the nation over formal law." In doing so, Kube is clearly calling on judges to pervert the cause of justice. The German Civil Code is already being reinterpreted. For example, the term "in good faith" is being reinterpreted as national duty and is thus extremely vague. It is therefore fortunate that people who feel they have been treated unfairly can turn to their local Führer, which is leader, for example Gauleiter Josef Bürkel, provided they have access to him. Bürkel is known for his so-called pragmatic, people-centered solutions designed to protect his followers. The final speaker of the evening is a certain Dr. Freisler. Dr. Freisler makes a career for himself as a lawyer under National Socialism. As one of the 15 participants at the Wannsee Conference, he helps organize the Holocaust. As president of the People's Court, he is responsible for approximately 2,600 death sentences. His conduct of trials is described as characterized by malice, aggression, and bias. Among other things, he presides over the trial of the members of the White Rose resistance group, Christoph Probst, Hans Scholl, and Sophie Scholl, and sentences them to death. Unlike lawless tyranny, the Nazi dictatorship seeks to demonstrate its legitimacy. Laws are enacted, albeit not by parliament, but by the government. Courts administer justice. This makes coming to terms with the Nazi dictatorship after its end infinitely difficult. It was not until 20th of February 1983, some 40 years after the death sentences against the White Rose, that the convictions were removed from the Federal Central Register. It was not until 1985 that the Bundestag declared Freisler's People's Court to have been devoid of any rule of law. The judges from the Nazi era, however, generally went on to pursue their careers after the war. The next video will continue with the life story of Alfons Zeileis and his family.